If you're a young adult and you're fresh out of high school, or you've been out of high school for some time now, and you're looking for some investment advice, this video is for you because what I'll be doing, I'll be showing you some ways that you can set yourself up to be a millionaire. Let's get into it. So I have 7 tips that if you follow, you'll be well on your way to becoming a millionaire. Now the first tip that I'm going to mention is please think deeply about going to college. I'm not saying don't go to college, or I'm not saying college is a bad idea. What I'm saying is if you're going to college because your friends are going to a certain college, or you're going to college to satisfy your parents, you're going to college for all the wrong reasons. Just as well as you can invest in certain things such as real estate or index funds or whatever you want to invest in, going to college is an investment. If you're spending $30,000, $40,000 to go to a 4-year college, and when you get out, you're only going to make $10, $12, $13, $14 an hour, your return on investment is extremely low. So what you need to do, you need to sit down, figure out if college is the best route for you. You need to see if the major that you're going to college for actually has a high demand, because if your major doesn't have a high demand, whenever you get out of school, you'll have a difficult time finding a job. So if you're going into something like engineering, of course, it's going to be way easier for you to find a job because there's not a lot of people that go to school for engineering. I'm not going to throw any majors out there, but if you go to school and go in a major that everyone is going in because it's easy to get a degree in that particular major, you're going to have a hard time finding a job whenever you get out of school. So please take the time, figure out if that's going to be your route. And also, going straight off to university may not be the best route. The only time I would tell you to go off to a university is if you're getting a full ride, or if you have scholarships that's taking care of most of the costs of going to college. But if not, your first 2 years, you're going to be taking a lot of gen ed type courses that you can take at a community college. And that's the route that I went, and I actually paid $74 per credit hour instead of paying $374 per credit hour at a university. And you take the same courses in the first 2 years. So please take that into consideration before you decide to go straight to university. If you can get your first 2 years out the way at a community college, then transfer to a university, which will also start you off with a fresh GPA going into your junior year, you should definitely consider that route. Let's get into the next step. So in this next step, all you need to do is hit the like button, subscribe, and click the notification bell, because that's going to push this content out to more people, and that's going to show YouTube that this content is valuable and you are enjoying it. So please just do that for me, and also leave a comment down below. Let me know what type of investments you're looking to get in the near future. Now let's get to the next step. Step 2, find a job. Now, if going to college is the route that you're going to choose, of course you can still work part-time, but if you're not going to go the college route and you want to go straight into a job, look for a full-time job to where you can see, okay, I don't know if I want to work for a company for 30, 40, 50 years. I think the entrepreneur route may be the better route for me. And guess what? The quicker you can figure this out, the better off you're going to be. Just imagine you go to college for 4 years, and in that time frame you didn't work any jobs. But then when you get out and you realize that, oh man, I really don't want to work for a company for 40, 50 years. I think I would want to be an entrepreneur. Then guess what? You just accumulated loan debt that you have to pay back. And now you want to go the entrepreneur route, but you still have loans that you have to pay off. So find a job as early as possible. It's going to teach you to be responsible. It's going to help you make a decision early on if you want to work for someone or be your own boss. Let's get into step 3. Step 3 is open a bank account. If you're 18 or older and you haven't opened up a bank account yet, just take the time to open up one, because even when you find that first job, you're going to have to direct deposit your money into your bank account unless you want to receive a paper check every week, even though I don't even know if jobs even sending out paper checks now. Maybe they are. But it'll allow you to set up direct deposit. And the good thing about banks such as Wells Fargo and Bank of America, I believe the age range from 17 to 24, or if you're a college student, you won't pay any fees to open up a bank account. Now, after you hit that 25 mark, then of course you will have to start paying fees unless you have direct deposits of $500 or more going into the account. Then you can avoid paying the monthly fees for owning a bank account. But it's just going to help build relationships with banks. And when you get to the point where you start applying for credit cards, or if you want a mortgage, you're going to have a relationship already with certain banks. And that's just put you in a position so when the bank looks at your information, they're going to say, okay, this person has been with us since they were 18 or whatever age you were, and we may can trust this person. Let's give them a shot. So definitely take the time and open up a bank account as a young adult or 18-year-old, because it can help build relationships, and it's just one of the first steps of becoming an adult. The fourth step that you should do as an 18-year-old or young adult is open a credit card account. The earlier you open a credit card account, the more credit history that you can build, and the more responsible and trustworthy you will look to a bank, as long as you're paying everything on time. Now, whenever you open a credit card account, you have two types of credit cards that you can get. You can get a secure credit card or unsecured credit card. With a secure credit card, that's going to require you to put down some type of deposit. And my first card that I got was Premier Bank. I'm not going to recommend you get that card, because still to this day, I'm paying an annual fee for a card that I put down a $200 deposit on. And there are cards out here that you won't have to pay an annual fee, and you can put down way more than what Premier Bank actually offers you. So definitely look into that. And my recommendation would be a Discover It card, because you can put, I believe, up to $2,500 on your Discover It card. You have no annual fee, and guess what? In a few months, they will add additional credit limit to your card in most cases, not all the time. And that's just going to help as long as you make your payments on time. And the best practices with that is make sure whatever you put on that card, you pay off on your payment due date, because you don't want to end up paying the high interest rates that are on the credit cards. So in other words, make sure you're not spending anything that you can't afford to pay back. Now, whenever it comes down to unsecured credit cards, since you don't have an established credit score, it's going to be harder for you to get those type of cards. But if your parents are in a position to where they have good credit, they have credit history that they had for the past 10 years, on a card such as an American Express Hilton card, if your parents own that card and they have 10 years of credit history, what they can do, they can add you as an authorized user on the account at the age of 18 or whatever age you are. You won't gain the 10 years that they actually have, but from that point on into the future, you will receive positive payment history as long as they're paying their bills on time and as long as they're paying everything off. So you may be able to get an unsecured credit card if your parents is willing to add you as an authorized user. The good thing about it is they don't have to give you the card. They can just cut it up and just allow you to build that credit. Building credit is important, because if you ever get to a point where you want to go out and invest in real estate and you find a property, or even if you need somewhere to stay when you move out of your parents' home, you will have established credit to where you can go and get your own apartment or get your own home, as long as you meet other requirements as well too. So check out the Discover It card. Stay away from Premier Bank card, because like I said, you will pay an annual fee, and get your first credit card. Step 5, open a Roth IRA account. Listen, the reason why you should do that is because it's going to be a retirement account that's just going to set you up in the long run. You should always be playing for the long game. So basically, if you don't know what a Roth IRA account is, it's just a retirement account that your post-tax money that you made, you can put it in that account, and it's something called compound interest. So the money that you put in is just going to continue to grow and grow and grow over time. So let's say that you put $10,000 in at the age of 30, and that $10,000 has 10% interest. If you leave that money in there, it's going to be tax-free, and that's all money that you can have for your retirement. In 30 years, that $10,000 will be worth $174,492, as you can see here on the screen. Now, this is crazy. If you do this at the age of 18 instead of waiting to the age of 30, instead of making $174,000, and like I said, it's 10% interest on the $10,000. At the age of 59 and a half, you will have $547,636 in your retirement account. You see what the difference of 10 to 12 years can actually do if you take action early. That's why it's very important to open up a Roth IRA as soon as you turn 18. And I hate the fact that I waited so long to actually do this, because I could have actually been contributing to my retirement account ever since I was in my teenage years. So don't make the mistake I made, and definitely take advantage of it. Step 6, avoid bad debt. So I'm going to tell you this. You have two types of debts. You have good debt and bad debt. I'm not going to tell you to avoid good debt, because that's the reason why you're building your credit, the reason why you're opening a bank account, the reason why you're working to better yourself, because you want to be accumulating good debt. Bad debt is considered going to get an unsecured credit card and spending the whole balance and not paying it off and just letting it hit your credit and just letting late payments hit your credit. That is considered bad debt. Going out, buying unnecessary items, living above your means, that is considered bad debt. If it's something that you can't afford, don't buy it. If you gotta finance something that's not gonna make you any money, don't buy it. Now, I'm gonna tell you what's good debt. If you put everything that I've been talking about into play, and you build your credit, you open your bank accounts, you work hard, and you end up finding an investment property that you would like to invest in, going to a bank that you done establish a relationship with, or a credit card company that you establish a relationship with, and taking out a loan that you have to pay interest on, but that particular loan is going to make you $700-800 in your pocket net every single month. That is considered good debt. So that's why it's important for you to protect your credit at all costs, because you want to be able to get this type of debt. But please avoid bad debt. Let's go on to the next step. As an 18-year-old or young adult, the last step that I'm going to mention is get started in real estate investing. When I say real estate investing, there's ways that you can get in it with the credit that you built that we just talked about, or real estate wholesaling. Real estate wholesaling for someone that's young, I feel like is a great entry point into getting started for real estate, because it's going to teach you how to understand the market. It's going to teach you how to build business relationships. And you can do that without using any of your credit, and you can use that without using any of your cash. If you want to use your cash, you can take the hard-earned income, because the money that you're making, you got to look at it as individual workers. So every dollar is an individual worker. So if you take $200-300 out of your monthly income to invest in wholesaling, that's going to speed up the process of you potentially making $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month, and you'll be able to contribute more to your Roth IRA account. And after you make $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month, you'll be able to put more money back into marketing so you can make more money. Or if you do want to go the route of not spending any money at all, you can do that. If you never heard of real estate wholesaling, it's just as simple as finding a seller that has a property that they want to sell, and you put the property under A-B contract with the seller, which would be A is the seller and you would be B, which is the wholesaler. You put the property under an equitable interest agreement, and let's say that you put the property under contract for $100,000. You go out and you find a buyer that's willing to pay you $110,000 for your equitable interest contract, and you create a BC agreement saying that the buyer is willing to buy for $110,000. You made $10,000 from just selling a piece of paper to someone else. That's a great way to build a large amount of money fast while you put money into your Roth IRA, and it can potentially help you avoid having to work a W-2 job. If that would be something that you'll be interested in, take the time to educate yourself. And if you are interested in that, please check out my wholesaling playlist here, and I'll see you next time.